mix of facts and spicy sides.
From breaking headlines to backroom whispers, all served hot and fresh. I'm Ferdi Salvador.
I'm Monique Tuzon-Basi. Happy Thursday. We are so glad y'all are here with us.
Happy Thursday. I'm Mai Rodriguez. This is The Daily Dish.
And I'm Chal Lontoc. Join us in the next hour and a half for the news, meets, and stories that matter to you.
Guys,
Thursday.
ladies, I'm so glad it's Thursday.
I know, right?
I'm glad to be at BNC. However, I'm also glad to see
I know, I'm so proud of you.
that the
end of the
weekend's
tunnel.
coming.
No, I thought it was because you can see even without your glasses.
Ay,
so I'm so
wow.
proud of you.
Wow.
Ferdi forgot his glasses.
I
Clear.
forgot my
It's
glasses.
one more day until Friday, and we have lots of things to talk about today.
I was like, yeah, Friday and Saturday, there's no rest for the wearies, sweetie. So it is Women's Month, for this whole March. So we're going to be featuring a lot of ladies such as my beautiful co-hosts, right? And I just saw the Bilyonaryo news channel, whatchamacallit?
Online?
Plug regarding...
I haven't seen it yet.
That's why when I was sitting here waiting for you, I was like, wow, my friends look so pretty. To celebrate
This
Women's
is different
Month.
from the station ID, right? I haven't seen
Oo
it.
naman.
Okay, I haven't seen the
siya,
plug.
plug.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
The plug
I don't think any of you have seen it,
yeah,
actually.
seen it.
We haven't seen it
So
yet.
it's cute. So if you guys see it, shout out to the ladies. But
Hooray!
I researched, and guess what? All you fans of Bridgerton, did you know that Queen Charlotte has always been of mixed color?
I love it.
Yes, so Queen Charlotte of Bridgerton is actually patterned out of Queen Charlotte of England, that was the first mixed race queen of England.
So it's
This is
not
eye-opening.
Yeah, so are you saying that it's not actually Meghan?
No,
She's not the
Meghan's not
first.
the first.
Not Meghan Markle.
This one is.
Queen
so why the
Charlotte-
confusion? Why did we think
No,
that-
because Queen Charlotte, I guess at that time, racism and whatever it may have been, they used to paint her with a lighter color
White
because she's
makeup?
half black and she's half Caucasian. And so they would paint her as a lighter color, but then she would get made fun of because of her nose, her fuller lips. I don't want to say thick because,
It's fuller.
fuller. I mean,
Okay.
I want fuller.
I want
Ooh,
fuller lips
everyone
too.
wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's why women are
This
getting
is
lip fillers,
so interesting because for a while I thought, oh, maybe the show, it
It's
seems to be
woke.
a trend or it's more
it's
woke.
more inclusive,
yes,
right?
and inclusive.
No, she is actually of mixed race, and that's something to be
Yeah, I
proud
love
of.
it. So she's actually patterned from a real queen.
Yes.
Queen Charlotte.
Go Queen!
And-
So we learned
And
something
speaking
today.
of Bridgerton, the second half is already in. Have you finished it? Because we have been
Mai
waiting
watches
for
every
2
She
months.
doesn't let up, does she?
No, the first part came out, I think, January, and then we waited for 2 months, I think, and
Ferdi
now
and
it's
I
out.
haven't had time to watch anything. Chal and Mai are always watching
But here's
something.
the interesting.
We never.
Here's the interesting thing.
I
Whenever
have.
we talk about shows online or on Netflix or on platforms, Mai seems to be watching them all every
Yeah,
single
only
day.
the-
I don't know how many she
only
watches in a day.
the hot
Because you know
ones.
why?
Hot.
Over
Coming
the
in hot.
weekend, Mai unplugs. That's what she does over the weekend. Like, don't
okay.
bother her. She's on Do Not Disturb. She just watches.
So there's at least one day or one afternoon that I just watch.
Really put some
watches.
time
3
into
episodes
it.
or
Another
4
show that's
episodes.
going really big right now, maybe we can talk about this tomorrow or what, is the one about the Kennedys, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I downloaded that
Yes.
because y'all were talking about it, and I
Yes.
love all the Kennedy stories, so I'm gonna start watching that.
And
Okay.
though that's something to watch out for, child, because there's a lot of funny ongoings with Carolyn and
the stories
and
that they
JFK
have.
Jr. Yeah, JFK Jr. What's his name? Si John
Tito
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah. Tito Kennedy.
Tito, yeah. Okay, well, so that's something that we could also talk about here once I finish the series with my starting
Yes.
it
We
up
can
too.
talk about
Can you
I'm
tell me
saving it
what
for the
streaming
weekend.
platform that's going to be later on? Huh?
Yes, yes.
Off air, so I'm going to
We'll
watch.
do that.
But you know what I do? Because Monique and I fly quite often, just like Chal. So on our weekends, like Friday night, we're off already to our next
Somewhere.
destination, and we're back Sunday evening. For me to watch the things that I want to watch, just like I have to download it on my
Yeah,
iPad.
just on
and
phone.
that's
on air.
That's what I
Yeah.
watch in the airport, so that I don't get bothered.
Yeah.
My
That's why you always bring your tablet or.
Oh, I
Always.
never
Yeah.
watch. I actually, when I'm on the airplane, that's my time to sleep. I literally knock out the whole time. That's where I
Oh,
catch
that's the
up on
time
my
I
Z's.
work.
That's
and clean
totally
up,
true.
yeah.
I work.
To each his
For you,
own, we're all
working, I was past
different.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm
Anyway.
going to be asking the
Perfect.
audience to watch us right now and ask them, do you guys think that what Mai is wearing is the color pink? That was supposed to be
still
the color
think-
of...
So she said this is blush.
Hold on.
I'm again in the hot
on
seat
TV,
over
wait, hold on.
colors.
On TV, it actually registers.
Yes, look.
Oh,
a
it
little-
does look
It looks
blush.
on
blush.
TV, but in
It is blush.
person, it's a whole new
it's more
different.
It's
brown.
not blush. I object, Your Honor.
But I said I'm gonna defend myself to the death today because I really thought this is blush. The theme today is neutrals and pink.
And
this
mind you, she
falls
picked the
under
colors.
neutrals.
So
Even if
neutral-
it's not pink,
So
it
you
falls
already
under
said
neutrals.
it, okay? Like other politicians, they make statements, but they take it back.
Who are you referring
so
to?
now yours is neutral.
No.
So hindi na siya pink.
It is still blush. Look at it on cam.
Put it on the
It
comment
is blush.
section,
Okay,
please.
move here,
Okay,
Mai.
hold on, I have to
Monique,
move,
you
right?
gotta
I'm
move.
too pink.
Actually, this is
so
Queen
now
Charlotte's
it's beige
blush.
again.
Yes, Charlotte's blush.
I think I'm
Perfect.
wearing
Charlotte's blush.
Perfect. And there are so
Anyway.
many shades of pink anyway, right?
Yeah, but don't worry,
Order
guys.
in the court.
Order
Let's
in the
get
court.
back, guys. Let's get
So,
back.
Alright,
so
it
the
is-
reason why she's in the hot seat is because we've got a rule here. If you're not within the color scheme, you have to treat
You're
lunch.
buying lunch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's buying lunch
Which
today.
just started today. No, this is neutral.
And that's why she has to defend
This is neutral.
Okay, so but you got a lot of guests.
Well, we have a packed show, perfect for Women's Month. We have got Ilacad and Rache turn of leading ladies. As you all well know, they're a group of ladies who are part of a community empowering women because women are now not just part of the economy, they're shaping the economy.
And
Yes.
we also have Justin Quirino, who is a seasoned TV host and wedding host and all-around events host. So we'll pick his brain, get to know what's happening with that realm of the world. But we have a lot going on.
Yes, you'll get hosting 101 tips and those conversations will come up in a bit. First, let's get to the headlines.
This is my daily dish. This is my daily dish. This is my daily dish. My daily dish. My daily dish.
In today's top stories, Congressman Bong Suntay faces an ethics complaint after getting flack over his sexist remarks about celebrity Ann Curtis. Former Senator Antonio Trillanes pursues legal action against a group of 18 former Marines over bribery allegations. Inflation hits a 13-month high in February, driven by higher food prices. And later in the show, we'll speak with event host Justin Quirino and leading ladies co-founders Kat Ilacad and Rache Stern. Stay tuned for that. Quezon City Representative Bong Suntay faces an ethics complaint following his sexist remarks on TV host and actress Ann Curtis. Women's groups are seeking disciplinary action against Suntay. Joan Manalo is live from the Batasang Pambansa for the details. Joan, tell us the latest.
A formal complaint against Quezon City 4th District Representative Bong Suntay has been filed today before the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges. The filing was led by former Congresswoman Liza Maza, together with women's rights advocates and accompanied by Gabriela Portalist Representative Sara Elago. Maza stressed that the lower chamber should subject Suntay to disciplinary action, noting that the congressman violated several laws, including the Magna Carta for Women. This comes after Suntay made sexist remarks about actress, host, and social media personality Ann Curtis during the House Justice Committee hearing on the impeachment complaints against Vice President Sara Duterte. Maza added that Suntay also violated the rules of conduct expected of a member of Congress, and she maintained that Suntay's justification that his remarks were merely an analogy and should be treated as a compliment reflects a culture of machismo, adding that such statements contribute to a culture of impunity against women. Maza further said that she does not believe Suntay's apology was sincere, as the lawmaker continues to insist that his remarks were only meant as an analogy and has refused to retract his statement. She added that while they do not want to preempt the decision or the movements of Congress with the complaint, they hope that a graver penalty will be imposed given that Suntay is a public official. Among the possible sanctions she mentioned are suspension for several weeks, community service or the imposition of fines. Women's group Gabriela also earlier condemned Suntay's remarks, stressing that these were not mere jokes or casual banter, but a direct affront to the dignity of women and a display of entitlement. The group also expressed solidarity with Ann Curtis, as well as with women who continue to experience systemic objectification and sexualization. The House Committee on Ethics and Privileges formally received the complaint against Suntay at around 10:30 a.m. today, Mai.
Joan, what are the next steps following the filing of this complaint? What can we expect?
Mai Alago and the complainants are hoping that their complaint be immediately discussed by the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges. So we are yet to see whether the committee will include the complaint in their next meeting. However, it can be recalled that the House of Representatives also approved a motion to investigate Suntay's remarks following this motion raised by San Juan Representative Bel Zamora during the House plenary session last night. Zamora also sought to require Suntay's appearance during the committee hearing and for the ethics panel to submit its findings to the House plenary. Mai.
Thank you, John Manalo, live from the Batasang Pambansa. Inflation accelerated in February, hitting its fastest pace in 13 months. This is driven by higher prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages. Charity Sulit is on the phone to break down the numbers. Charity, what can you tell us?
Mai, the Philippine inflation rate rises to 2.4% in February 2026 based on the latest print from the Philippine Statistics Authority. Data from the PSA showed an increase from 2% in January and 2.1% in February 2025. The average inflation as of February 2026 now stands at 2.2%. The PSA attributed the rise to higher annual increases in prices for food and non-alcoholic beverages, which carry heavy weight in the index. According to National Statistician and PSA Civil Registrar General Claire Dennis Mapa, prices of cereals and cereal products, particularly rice, have contributed largely to the inflation rate of food and non-alcoholic beverages. Mapa adds that the second largest contributor to the increased inflation rate is a faster pace in the price increases of housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, standing at a 3.5% inflation rate. MAPA also says an outlook of a positive inflation rate for fuels may happen by March. He clarifies it may not be solely because of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. However, MAPA acknowledges that there are risks for uptick due to the war. Meanwhile, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas warns 2026 inflation forecasts have slightly risen to 3.6% due mainly to supply-side pressures. The BSP projects the inflation would ease by 2027 to 3.2%, close to the 3% target. The central bank reaffirms its vigilance, monitoring incoming data. Mai?
Thank you, Charity Sulit, for that report. In other news, 18 individuals claiming to be former Marines are facing a new complaint filed by former Senator Antonio Trillanes. The case involves allegations of a bribery scheme linked to investigations of the International Criminal Court. Kumuha tayo ng detalye kay Isaiah Mirafuentes ng Abante. Isaiah?
Yes, May pasado alas 11 ng umaga nang dumating dito sa Department of Justice si former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV para magsampa ng patong-patong na reklamo laban sa 18 ex-Marines dahil sa aligasyon na kabilang umano siya sa mga nakatanggap ng mali-malitang pera na nagkakahalaga ng $2 million. Ito ay para raw isuhol sa ilang personnel ng International Criminal Court. Ang lahat ng bintang ay pinasinungalingan ng dating senador. Anya, wala raw sapat na dahilan para suhulan pa niya ang ICC. Welta niya, mas kaya pa raw magbayad ng mga Duterte kumpara sa kanya. Pero aminado si Trillanes na nakipag-ugnayan siya sa ICC para sa pagkalap ng mga ebidensya laban kay Duterte. Idiniin rin ni Trillanes na ang mga aligasyon ay pawang desperate destruction tactics lang. Tila questionable rin daw ang timing ng paglabas ng 18 ex-Marines dahil ginawa nila ito bago ang anibersaryo ng EDSA sa panahon na dinidinig ang kaso didinggin ang kaso ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa ICC. Kumbinsido na gagamitin lang ang mga aligasyon para malusot sa kasong crimes against humanity ang dating Pangulo. Paniwala ni Trillanes, bayaran ng kampo ni Duterte ang 18 dating sundalo. Kabilang rin sa mga nirereklamo na Trillanes ang abogado ng 18 Marines na si Attorney Levito Baligod, former Congressman Mike Defensor, broadcaster na si Jay Sonsa, former NTF-ELCAC spokesperson Lorraine Badoy at isang vlogger na si Cathy Binag. Kabilang sa kanyang mga isinampang reklamo ay ang cyber libel, perjury at incriminating an innocent person. Mai.
Isaiah, kilala ba ni former Senator Trillanes itong mga Marines na ito considering na he is also a former soldier?
Yes, May. According to the former senator, no, yung ilan daw dito sa mga sundalong ito ay kilala raw niya dahil nga nabanggit nga natin na dati siyang sundalo. Pero ayon kay Trillanes, darating daw ang panahon, darating ang takdang panahon na itong ilan sa mga 18 ex-Marines ay aamin na sila raw ay nabayaran, na sila raw ay ginamit lang ng kampo ng mga Duterte. Mai.
May reaksyon ba ang ombudsman since si Remulla ay nasa DOJ din ngayon? Ano ang reaksyon niya tungkol dito sa filing ng complaints by former Senator Trillanes?
Tama ka, May, no? Nagkasabay nga kanina na dumating dito si Ombudsman Mrs. Crispin Remulla dahil may event din ng DOJ ngayon, maging si Senator Antonio Trillanes para naman maghain ng kanyang reklamo. Ayon kay Ombudsman Remulla, nangako siya na magiging patas daw ang kanilang investigasyon kaugnay sa mga aligasyon ng 18 dating Marino o 18 ex-Marines. At ayon din kay Ombudsman Remulla, pinasinungalingan niya itong sinabi ni Trillanes na bayaran daw ng mga Duterte itong mga aligasyon ng 18 ex-Marines dahil ayon kay Remulla, posibleng may ibang grupo pa daw ang nasa likod ng nagbabayad dito para sa mga pagsasalita ng 18 ex-Marines. Pero naniniwala si Remulla na politika ang dahilan kaya nila ito ginawa. Mai.
Maraming salamat, Isaiah Mirafuentes ng Abante, nag-uulat. Vice President Sara Duterte hails the 18 former Marines who claim to have acted as bagmen for resigned Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico. In a statement, she said their claims should not be dismissed outright, but instead discussed, noting that the allegations suggest the government had been coordinating with the International Criminal Court. The former Marines had claimed that Ko and former Senator Antonio Trillanes covered hotel accommodations for ICC investigators, implying corruption in the independent body's probe. VP Sara's father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, is facing a crimes against humanity case at the ICC. The ICC prosecutor's office has already denied the claims of the former Marines. Lawmaker Terry Ridon is confident the impeachment complaints against Vice President Sara Duterte can stand even without Ramil Madriaga, whom the VP slapped with a perjury case. Speaking to BNC's At the Forefront, the Bicol Saro party list representative asserts Madriaga still has to present proof to support his allegations against the Vice President.
Tatakbo ho yung perjury criminal proceedings independently of the impeachment proceedings namin po. No? So, ibig sabihin, we will still invite Mr. Madriaga, we will still coordinate with the court that has jurisdiction on him para paharapin po siya and to give truth to his affidavit. And to be clear, hindi naman ho kumbinsido yung pong lahat ng mga miyembro po ng Kamara doon po sa affidavit. Kasi ang pagtingin ho namin, okay, you're stating all of these things, but you really still have to give truth to these allegations. But even if we remove his allegation actually, as far as I'm concerned, tingin ko tatayo po yung po mga impeachment complaints against the Vice President.
The lawmaker also believes the lower chamber can finish the whole impeachment process by May.
The week of April 8, pwede pong magkaroon ng next hearing, so determination of sufficiency in grounds, and then we can proceed with a hearing proper. No? So yun po yung timeline, and hopefully we are done with proceedings by around May.
Around May, okay.
To vote in plenary.
Impeachment proceedings against VP Sara Duterte will move forward despite the perjury complaint against her self-confessed bagman and former aide Ramil Madriaga. This was made clear by House Committee on Justice Chair Jervil Luistro on BNC's On Point. She stressed that the perjury case is a separate and distinct matter from the impeachment proceedings. Madriaga earlier claimed that Duterte's campaign was funded by drug dealers and Filipino offshore gaming operators or POGOs.
Well, Pinky, we will simply proceed with the proceeding of the Justice Committee, no? Ibang forum yun where the case of perjury was filed by the Vice President against Ramil Madriaga, no? And this one is separate and distinct from the case that was filed by the Vice President. So regardless of the filing of the perjury case, the Justice Committee will simply proceed to its proceeding and will receive the testimony of Ramil Madriaga the moment he was presented by the complainant.
President Bongbong Marcos today inspected the newly built Kamuning footbridge and busway station along EDSA. The project promises easier access for commuters and PWDs. However, some issues remain. Ivy Reyes is live from Malacanang for the details. Ivy, go ahead.
President Bongbong Marcos went up the so-called Mount Kamuning footbridge along EDSA as he inspected the newly built footbridge and busway station in the area. It's not very good at all, was the president's comment on the flight of stairs at the old footbridge. And First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos and presidential son Vini Marcos also accompanied the president this morning. This footbridge is a replacement to the old one and is designed to provide intermodal access with specific features for persons with disabilities, such as a wheelchair lift, a ramp on the separate pedestrian elevator, and tactile pavements for the visually impaired. Compared to the old footbridge and station, the new busway station is noticeably wider. The project, worth 87.3 million pesos, started in August 2025 and was completed last month. And it was only open to the public just yesterday. Meanwhile, PWDs we spoke with welcomed the modernized busway and commended the reduced hassle of going up what they described as an overly elevated footbridge in Kamuning. Even President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said the old footbridge was impractical. And for comparison, Mount Kamuning cost about 10 million pesos in 2018 under MMDA's supervision, while this one, again, is 87.3 million pesos. And upon the inspection, or after the inspection, the wheelchair lift in the southbound busway experienced some malfunctions, which caused the dismay of some PWDs who had or needed to access the EDSA carousel lane. My DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon and DOTR Secretary Giovanni Lopez said there are more busway stations lined up for rehabilitation to ease commuter experience in the metro. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Ivy Reyes, joining us live from Malacanang. Senator Erwin Tulfo calls out DFA and DMW personnel in the Middle East for unresponsive OFW hotlines amid the ongoing crisis. He also pushes for a bill that aims to automatically suspend fuel taxes when global prices spike, providing immediate relief to Filipino families and businesses. Hannah T is live from the Senate for more on this. Hannah?
May gawin ninyo ang trabaho ninyo. That's how Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chair Erwin Tulfo called out the personnel of the DMW and the DFA in the Middle East for allegedly not answering hotlines meant for OFWs amid the ongoing crisis in the region. Tulfo emphasized that this is the moment for overseas Filipinos to feel the support of their government. Earlier in a Senate hearing, Senator Erwin and his brother, Senator Rafe Tulfo, noted that they have received complaints from OFWs about unresponsive hotlines. DMW Secretary Hans Kakdak assured that the agency will investigate the matter and reiterated that all personnel are on full alert amid the Middle East crisis.
This should be your shining moment, kayo dyan sa DFA, DMW at saka OWA sa ibang bansa. Kailangan kayo ng mga kababayan natin, gawin ninyo ang trabaho ninyo. Hindi yung magpasarap-sarap lang kayo dyan. Nung walang gera, nandiyan kayo sa Dubai, pasyal dito, pasyal doon, may mga allowances. Ngayon, gera na, kasama sa trabaho ninyo yan. Yan yung sinasabing hazards of your trade. Ayan yung mga delikado. Ngayong gera, mawawala kayo? Sumagot kayo, wala tayong magagawa. Tamaan. Yan ang trabaho ninyo, di ba?
Tulfo has also filed a Senate bill that would automatically suspend certain fuel taxes whenever global oil prices spike, giving immediate relief to consumers at the pump. Under the proposed legislation, when the average Dubai crude oil price based on the Platts Singapore mean reaches or exceeds $80 per barrel, two things would automatically take effect. First, the 12% value-added tax or VAT on the sale and importation of fuel. Second, the excise tax on refined and manufactured mineral oils and other fuels. The bill amends sections of the National Internal Revenue Code to make that automatic switch possible, so relief kicks in right away during extraordinary price surges and then stops once prices normalized based on the bill's conditions. Tulfo says this is meant to help cushion Filipino families and businesses from sudden sharp fuel price increases, especially during global instability that can push oil prices up and drive inflation here at home. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you for that report, Hannah T, joining us live from the Senate. Nearly 300 OFWs who were stranded due to the conflict in the Middle East have now safely returned to the Philippines. The number of Filipinos wanting to return home has also increased. Kumuha tayo ng update sa report ni Ryan Reloban ng Abante. Ryan?
May dumating na nga sa bansa ngayong araw ng Huwebes, March 5, 2026, ang unang batch ng mga Pilipino na inilikas ng pamahalaan kasunod ng tumitinding kaguluhan sa Middle East. 6:45 ng umaga nang lumapag sa Ninoy Aquino International Airport o NAIA Terminal 3 ang eroplano mula sa Dubai. Sakay na nasabing eroplano ang 299 na mga Pinoy, kung saan 145 ang mga babae, 127 ay mga lalaki, habang 17 ay mga bata at 10 infants. Sa nasabing bilang din, kabilang ang 23 na mga overseas Filipino workers o OFW at 2 OFW children. Nais katuparan ng pagpapauwi sa mga naturang Pilipino sa tulong na rin ng UAE government at Emirates Airlines sa kabila ng limitado ng operasyon ng airspace. Ayon kay Overseas Workers Welfare Administration o OWA Administrator Patricia Ibon Tiway Kaunan, ilan sa mga OFW ay pinayuhang pansamantalang umalis ng kanilang mga employer dahil sa sitwasyon sa rehiyon, mga nakatapos na ng kontrata at ilan na nagpasyang umuwi ng bansa para sa personal na dahilan.
Mga dumating nating mga kababayan ng OFWs, standard naman po na tulong na kumuha dyan ang transportation assistance, domestic transportation assistance, of course temporary accommodation sa mga kailangan, temporary accommodation, meals, and of course meron tayong financial assistance.
May sa huling datos ng OWA, umakyat pa sa 1,979 na mga OFW ang nagpahayag na nais ng umuwi sa Pilipinas dahil sa nagpapatuloy na gulo sa kanilang bansa, kung saan 321 mula sa Bahrain, 633 sa Kuwait, 231 sa Dubai, 285 sa Abu Dhabi at 61 sa Israel. Kabilang din may ang 173 na OFW sa Qatar, 10 sa Jordan, 90 sa Saudi at 26 sa Lebanon. Kaugnay niyan, sinabi ni Department of Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak na inaayos na rin ng pamahalaan ang mga hakbang sa pagpapabalik sa mga OFW sa bansa. Kaya naman asahan na sa mga susunod na araw na may panibagong batch muli ng mga Pilipino ang darating sa Pilipinas.
Just bear in mind yung the commercial flight and the possibility of a chartered flight or repatriation effort undertaken by the Philippine government. So today is a commercial flight. So what it depends on yung effort ng airline, no? Whether or not magpapalipad sila uli, bearing in mind again the safety of the passengers.
May katuwang ng OWA at DMW sa pagbibigay ng mga kinakailangan tulong ng mga OFW ang Department of Health o DOH at Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD. Samantala, kinumpirma naman ni Kakdak na 2 Pilipino ang naitalang sugatan sa kaguluhan sa gitnang silangan. Back to you, Mai.
Maraming salamat, Ryan Reloban ng Abante, nag-uulat. Despite earlier pronouncements that she is not interested in running, Caloocan Representative Edgar Erice backs Naga City Mayor Leni Robredo as the strongest presidential candidate of the Liberal Party for the 2028 elections. On BNC's The Spokes, Erice also floated who he wants as Robredo's running mate.
Ngayon 2028, para sa akin, and numbers in the surveys will show, ang pinakamalakas na kandidato ng Liberal Party, si Vice President Leni Robredo. At tingin ko, tama si Barry, kung pipili siya ng Vice President, not within our group.
So, sino tingin mo possible?
Ako, gusto ko si Mig Subiri from Mindanao.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Coming up next, we sit down with a guy who makes hosting look effortlessly cool. Event host and podcaster Justin Quirino joins us after the break. There he is. Stay tuned. The Daily Dish will be right back.
Welcome back to the Daily Dish. Now, our guest today is a familiar face and voice in Philippine media, a seasoned host who has graced TV screens, live events, and digital platforms.
You may have seen him on morning television, caught him hosting major events, or watch his tech and lifestyle content online. Please welcome to the show, Justin Quirino.
Quirino, wow, hello.
Oh, I like that intro.
Ferdi, thank you so much. Oh, such a pleasure, Ferdi. Thank you so much for having me. Congratulations on the wedding, by the way.
Of course, thank you. And
Yes.
we're so glad you made time for us here
Yes,
this
out of your
morning.
busy schedule.
I'm very glad to be here. It feels like morning, but it's the afternoon, which I like. You know what I mean?
Yes, you
I
don't
think
have
it's
to wake
the
up
perfect
early.
time for the show.
Are you a morning
time.
or afternoon person?
I feel like I have the energy to be a morning person, but I'm really a night owl.
I didn't even say night, di ba? Afternoon, because we're afternoon peeps
You're
right
afternoon
now.
people?
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
do feel like it's the morning. But
Right?
you
Yeah.
were a morning show host. You're an
Yes,
event
ironically,
host.
yeah.
You do a lot. So, Justin, where did this all start for you?
Oh, it started when I was called into the office of one of our student coordinators back in the day. She wanted me to host my prom. So I was in third year high school.
Mm-hmm.
She called me into her office. So I thought I was in trouble. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, hi po, hello. And she was like, Justin, I want you to host your prom. And I was like, what? I've never hosted anything in my life. And she was like, Justin, trust me, one day you're going to come back to me. You're going to thank me that I made you host your prom.
What's her name?
Miss Alma Moreno, I love you. Thank you so
shout
much,
out
Miss
to
Alma.
her.
No, that's not
That's
the
real.
actress.
Huh?
Not
No.
the actress
No.
Alma Moreno. Another Alma Moreno.
They have the
You
same
know what?
name.
Oh, wow.
You
Maybe
just
it's my
realized-
morning brain.
Did you just realize
She was
that now?
actually my student
hold on.
coordinator, Alma Moreno. That's kidding. Okay, you know what? I may have forgotten
like,
Miss
oh,
Alma.
she
I always
has-
say Miss Alma. Miss Alma. I'm pretty sure it's Miss Alma Moreno. I'll double check. But either way, I messaged
Baka
her.
Alma Morena.
Baka Morena. Baka Alma Morena. siya.
Yes. Oh, but
He just had an
Yes, yes.
epiphany on the show. He's like,
Wow.
wait lang.
I didn't know. Kaya pala, she saw something in me.
Me and Ferdi- Was it Alma
Wait a
Moreno?
minute.
She was a student coordinator.
I didn't even have time to look at Monique. I'm like, the actress?
You know what? If I got that last name wrong, then I'm gonna send her an apology later.
Flowers,
Basta
flowers.
si Miss Alma, you know what I mean? Okay, so si Miss Alma. Yeah, so she made me host my prom, and that was my first time ever. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm just gonna do it like I do in a class presentation or whatever it is. may script na nga dyan, so I'm just gonna read the script and try to connect. And at the end of the prom, I won awards, so that's great. I'm just kidding. At the end of the prom, I got to connect with my batchmates and stuff. Like, we're 450 in our batch, so it's virtually impossible to connect with all of them. But after that, I had like batchmates I've never met before, and they're like, Justin, great job. That was really fun. I'm like, thank you. And for me, that's a touch point for me with them, you know. And I was like, this is a great avenue for me to get to know a lot of people and really just, I guess, be one with people, you know. So after that, it just kind of snowballed. I'd host like variety shows for school fairs, you know, different schools. When I went to college, I was part of the university student government.
Right.
And so I was always with the people who were planning the events. So they were like,
At the
Justin,
right time, the right place.
Yeah.
But that time is still for free.
That's the problem, right? And when you're hosting student events also, it's very, the planning is not the best, right? So a lot of things go wrong with student-led events. And so if you're a host for a student-led event, that's where you learn that you know, how to stretch. That's where you learn how to improvise.
You know what you're saying is that I prefer, like, I've never. Have you had formal training with hosting?
Actually, no.
Neither
I've
have
never
I.
had.
You had practice since high school.
Yes.
But I feel like it has to be. It comes with a certain character, certain personality, because there's a lot. And you know how funny, you know, with our jobs, a lot of the people that we want to guest on our shows sometimes like freak out. They're like, I can't do public speak. I'm like, you're not talking to the public per se. You're talking to a camera, or you're just talking to us. But there's this notion when they're like, we're scared. Did you ever feel nervous at all at one time?
I only feel nervous when I'm not prepared.
Okay. Are you prepared today?
Quite.
Actually, how do you prepare for, he's always prepared. Justin's always prepared. Do you see his outfit, the way he walked in? I'm like, yeah, he ready.
Yeah, you know, I did my research on you guys, you know what I mean? So I know if I want to talk about luxury brands, you know, I'm going to talk to you, Ferdi.
You talk to me about scandals.
What's in, you know, high society and stuff like that, you know. If we're going pageantry, then I'm going to go to you, Mo.
Grabe naman sa
Pageantry. And,
did he just take over the interview?
All things beauty, you know what I mean?
Okay, so
he just took over the interview.
So, you know,
let's flip this.
Yeah, let's flip it.
Interview us.
Because, I don't know, I'm a host. And you know what? Thinking about today also, I was like, this is going to be the first time I'm going to be asked to answer questions.
Okay,
about
fine, we won't flip
what I do.
So
I'm like, so interesting. Because right now, all I want to do is ask you guys what you think about hosting. What you think about hosting.
We're gonna. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Will I get in trouble? We're gonna edge you with hosting, okay?
Edge me? Oh, shoot.
So,
okay, let's go.
we're not gonna. Am I allowed to say that?
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay.
How does it feel though, being on
That's
the
a gray
hot
area,
seat?
right?
Being on the hot seat?
Yeah, how the
I like it. I kinda
turntables,
like it.
right?
Let's throw the script out the window.
No.
So let's.
We never
Okay.
use our
Yeah.
script.
So tell us about your personal life.
My personal life?
I want to know,
Wow.
you know, how you operate. Like,
Wow.
does a girl get jealous when you host weddings?
Wow.
No, I don't
love
think
how
so.
Ferdi just flipped that real quick.
I don't think so. I don't think they do.
They.
Huh?
It's plural.
Wow.
Huh?
He has a team.
No, whoever I'm dating,
I was
whatever, no, yes.
They.
Kasi naman, no, because I've been hosting, so I'm celebrating my 15th year of hosting right now. So I've been hosting weddings for 15 years now.
Okay. So when is yours
Yeah.
coming?
That is the number one thing I think when I watch the SDEs of the weddings that I'm hosting. I'm like, do I see myself there? Is that?
Yeah, do
Let's go
you?
back to the couple.
Do you actually see yourself? Like, do you get like some butterflies
Of
and
course.
saying like, oh, I'm ready to be there?
Oh, sure. And then that's where a lot of deep realizations come in.
Such as?
He does reflecting while he watches
such as
the
maybe it's
SDs.
time to take this relationship to the next level, whatever that next level may be.
Oh, okay. Is there anyone special?
Yes, of course. Yes. Sorry, there's one special person right now. Yes.
There is a special person.
Yes,
but
yes,
if you were to have your dream wedding right now, who would be your dream host? You cannot host your own wedding. Pwede naman me and Ferdi.
Oh, okay.
Pwede. We'll do it for free.
I think, so I'm just going to steal the concept of one of my other host friends. Since I have so many friends who are hosts, my dream wedding reception will have multiple hosts, host different segments.
Wow, parang morning show.
Oh, parang ganun.
That's a challenge, man.
Because
That's
mas
amazing.
magaling ako sa'yo mag-host like that.
That's a whole production.
That's a
Not
production.
really. You know, so for example, like okay, intro, I'll give it to let's say my first radio partners. You know what I mean? Let them do it. You know what I mean? After dinner, I can have maybe my morning show hosts come
I
in.
have an idea for your wedding.
Yeah.
Instead of, we're gonna do the different hosts, but we're gonna do it news reading style.
With a teleprompter.
With a
as well.
teleprompter. We're just gonna,
My budget. Okay.
yeah, so that, in burning news today, Justin Quirino is getting married. Maganda.
I love it. Okay, well, let's
like
stop
that.
talking about your personal life now, real quick. Just quick pause. Let's go back to hosting
Sure.
101. Because I want to ask how you prepare. Like right now, you're super prepared. How do you prepare for a TV segment versus hosting live?
Okay, so first of all, I consider hosting to be like an oral exam. That's how I prepare for it, you know? How do you prepare for an oral exam? You have your notes, you go through everything, you ask yourself questions about the program and stuff like that. And then later on, you're in front of your prof, your teacher, whatever it is, and then they ask you questions, then you answer. So for me, I like to be that kind of prepared. You know what I mean? I'll try to think of like just the different questions from end to end, and then just kind of operate depending on how the vibes are also.
How much time do you need to prepare for a gig?
Hours. Hours upon hours.
And do you prefer
for sure.
having a script or just like bullet points and just kind of free flow with
It
it?
depends who's writing the script.
Actually,
Good? Yeah?
Me, I prefer
Fair?
no script. Actually,
I prefer no script. We like bullet points.
we work better with no
Yes.
script because when there's a script, then we mess up. So just give me
Okay.
bullet points.
So if I do have a script, usually I ask if I can edit the script. So even if it's on a teleprompter or something like that, I prefer that I can edit it so that it's in my own voice. You know what I mean?
True.
And also, I feel like brands or clients will get me for a particular reason because they know that I can speak to a particular demographic.
Which
is people I went to high school with, college with, you know what I mean? The kinds
So you
of
have
people.
a niche already.
I would say so. And I feel like it's the kind of niche that Ferdi relates with as well.
The 35-year-old.
Yeah, of
The
course.
Gen
There you
Zers?
go.
Gen Z.
Yes,
Right, I like that.
Okay, but yeah.
You know, I would like to ask you, Justin. Sometimes, being a host, it's difficult whether it's live or in television because certain guests really just give you one word answer, and that's one of the hardest.
hard.
Yeah, what people think that what we do is like we just blab.
Okay.
But there really is a science and a professional way of doing it.
Yeah.
How do you deal with guests that are, I wouldn't say difficult, but are shy or won't really give you lengthy answers that you can build on?
Well, I guess number one, it depends on how much time we have. So that's the first thing I need to think
What
of.
direct? How many?
How much time direct? Oh, we have. So let's say if I have 10 minutes with this person, okay, then that's a lot we need to do. If I know that this guest of mine is not very generous with his or her words, then I'm gonna have to do extra research.
How do you stretch though? When you really can't stretch, how do you pull out those questions out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Especially if you're just hosting alone. It's fun when you're with a co-host because you make saluan, right? But when you're by yourself, that's tough.
So then we'd have to differentiate. Am I hosting a solo podcast where there's no one in the
No,
audience?
like for example, at a wedding, and you call the
All right,
best man.
awesome. Wedding is great because you have so many resource people. If the best man is saying something and he's really not, if he's kind of crashing and burning, I can come in. Or I can also go to the groom and the bride. I can ask them to comment or something. But also, if it's the context of a wedding, the speech doesn't have to be that long anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why, for me, it's always about the context. Like, I think we have 1 minute left, so let's go after the commercial break.
No, we still have lots of time, don't worry.
At length, no? But it's always about the context. How much time do we have? What do we need to get to today? And how much time do we have for the pleasantries and the fluff that we can add to it?
Now, what about audience? Because sometimes when you're hosting, you just see the audience, they're kind of just sitting there and you're like, are you ready? Come on. And they're just like,
Crickets.
How do you get them to come alive, to participate with you?
Yeah.
What's your secret?
My secret there is, okay, first of all, as I try to think of I try to think how I would feel if I were in the audience, okay? As an audience member, I don't like to be forced to do things.
Yeah, so meaning to say,
100% agree.
meaning to
Yeah.
say, like, I can tell. Okay, I'm being a little elitist here, but I can tell if a host is not used to a crowd or used to a certain genre. Like they go in, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. No, you're like, you don't have what it takes.
So you have to know your audience.
Always know your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of weddings, Justin, congratulations. You're joining your first bridal fair this
Yes,
weekend,
my first
right?
major one. Yes, that's going to be the Toast wedding fair this weekend.
Right.
March 7, 8, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Saturday, Sunday at the World Trade Center. So if you guys are free, come on.
Yes, just talking about that, how important is it to have a good wedding host? Because some people say, why am I going to get a host?
Right.
I'll just go get a relative or a friend that knows as well. What about a person that's not related to them or hasn't been in their lives for more than 10 years?
Yeah.
Coming on as a host for their special event.
Yeah. So usually I say you have to evaluate your resources, right? So usually if they ask me, do you need to hire a professional host? Usually I say no. Number one, it depends on how good your program coordinator is, okay? Your wedding coordinator. If they're great and they can also check to see if the host that you picked is good enough and they have enough authority to say, wag yan. Great. Seems like you're in good hands. You know what I mean? And if you have extra budget, fine, go for a host. But if you don't have a good program coordinator, a good wedding coordinator, I would say it's especially important that you hire a professional host. I would say that, let's say, because I started from the very bottom, I've learned to kind of be a floor director as a wedding host also. So once I get there, I check with the spinner. I see what our music is. I double check our cue sheet, all these things, and before we call in, let's say the best man or whatever, I'm gonna talk to the coordinators and be like, nandito ba si best man? Baka nasa banyo siya. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're also a coordinator. You do
pretty
a lot
much
behind the scenes.
You need to know what's going on around.
Yeah, I do a lot.
Yeah.
We can talk to Justin all day, but we have to wrap up. But before we let you go, I just want to know one last question.
Oh.
For those who are wanting to be a host, a content creator, live event host, what's your number one tip or advice to those who are aspiring to be what you're doing right now?
Okay, so I kind of coined something last night in preparation for this, and it's to be a good program host. Let's just say, okay, you need to know your PARE, okay?
Your pair.
Yeah, actually it's your pare. You need to know your pare, okay? So number one, so P, okay? You need to know your purpose. What is your role here? Are you the host? Are you the moderator? Are you the expert? You know what I mean? Okay, so P, A, your audience. Know your audience, okay? And with your audience, I need you to answer these questions. Who, what, when, where, how, why, so what? So who are they? Who are they here to see, right? Where are they coming from? How did they get here? How are they feeling about today? So many questions to answer about your audience, right? So PAR, R is your resources. So your resources are, who are your key speakers later on in the program?
Who are you going to roast? Yeah.
Who are you going to roast?
And your
Pwede. And also these are the things in your toolkit, like your charisma, your improv skills. These are all things, your research. Then E is the engagement. Once you have your PAR, then you can get your engagement.
So folks, whoever wants to learn how to become a cool host,
just hit
talk
up
to Justin and talk about pare. But now, we're not going to let you go yet. We're going to do a very, very quick rapid fire. All right? So first question.
All right, early call time or late night event?
Late night event.
Coffee or energy drink?
Coffee.
Who is your hosting idol, local or international?
Ryan Seacrest.
Dream co-host, and you better answer right.
Ferdi Salvador.
He didn't even answer you for his wedding host.
He pressured me, yeah, okay.
Okay, if you weren't in media or hosting, what career would you be in?
Maybe ministry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If we check your screen time, what app dominates
Instagram.
Okay.
Most used emoji, and you have to do the face.
The laughing emoji without the crying, because
The
supposedly that
eye
signals
thing.
millennial.
Oh, really?
Supposedly,
Oh
yes.
no,
yes.
it's giving
Okay.
So
away my age.
I try to
The Gen Z
go,
club.
Go like 96, you know.
Okay. TV or event hosting?
Event hosting.
Okay.
Okay, so most people know who you are and they see you. You're pretty much always on TV and on camera. But what's one thing people don't know about you yet?
I was a professional tap dancer very briefly.
Nice.
How cool!
Very
That is
briefly.
so hard.
And very
pretty cool.
amateur
That's so
professional.
sick.
That's pretty cool. All right, celebrity crush, and you better answer correctly.
He's not prepared
Margot
for this.
Robbie.
Margot Pinoy.
Aw.
Ann Curtis. Wow, Ann Curtis.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, so
With a lot of respect.
With the
Extra
utmost
respect.
respect.
Yes.
With the
All right.
utmost
So
respect.
our show is called The Daily Dish. So what is one dish that you can eat every day that you won't get sawa from?
Adobo sa gata.
Adobo
Yes,
sagata. Does your
that
mom
is
make good
also
adobo
my
sagata?
fave.
No. She makes a good chicken cacciatore.
Oh,
Yes.
fancy.
Yeah.
All right. If you were given 1 billion pesos today, what's the first thing that you would buy? Selfishly,
Oh, selfishly, I mean, I was investing in stocks and bonds, you know what I mean? Selfishly, wala, di pa rin selfish. I would buy a bigger house for my family.
Aww,
Oh
sweet.
my gosh.
Well, you know, since we have Justin here, we're gonna switch this around real quick. Justin, we're gonna let you read the prompter.
Yes.
You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah?
do our
All
extra for the teaser.
Oh, okay. Which one? This
We're
one?
gonna make him sulit na.
Okay.
Camera
Okay.
one.
Come
This
one.
one?
There we go.
Mo?
Yes, you're Mo.
Yeah,
I'm
you're Mo today.
Oh, world, sports, and entertainment is up next. Stay tuned to The Daily Dish.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Daily Dish. We begin world news in the U.S., where the Senate has backed President Donald Trump's powers in the Iran war. The U.S. Senate blocked a measure that would have limited Trump's ability to order further military action in Iran. The resolution requires congressional authority to declare war.
Why is Donald Trump hell-bent on making history repeat itself? Why is he plunging America headfirst into a war that Americans do not want and which he cannot even explain? Enough is enough. The American people deserve a say, and that is what our resolution is about. We must act to stop Trump's belligerence. The American people will be watching how senators vote. History will judge this chamber for how we act. To my colleagues, all of my colleagues, it is time to make a stand. We must stop another war in the Middle East.
The Senate voted 53 to 47, largely split along party lines, favoring President Trump's strikes on Iran. Senator Roger Wicker defended Trump's decision, calling it necessary for U.S. security. Meanwhile, the House will be debating on a similar resolution and is expected to vote today, March 5. Moving to the Congo, over 200 people are killed in a landslide at a mining site. Heavy rains triggered the collapse of a shaft in the country's largest coltan mine in the rebel-controlled east last Tuesday. The mine's ministry is now reporting that around 70 children are among the fatalities. The Rubaya mine produces roughly 15% of the world's coltan, a key source of a metal used in mobile phones, computers, aerospace, and gas turbines.
Fresh from Dubai, Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala takes center stage at the BNP Paribas Tennis Paradise in Indian Wells. And of course, Filipino fans turn out in full force to cheer her on. Our U.S. correspondent Steve Angeles has the details.
A Filipino with a huge following is among the world's best tennis players taking to the courts of Indian Wells. Filipina Alex Ayala, fresh off a quarterfinals run at the Dubai Tennis Championships, is joining world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, 4th-ranked Coco Gauff, the great Venus Williams, and Filipino-Ecuadorian-Canadian Leylah Fernandez, the 27th-ranked player for the BNP Paribas Tennis Paradise, the first major 1,000-level tournament of the season.
Looking back at the first part of the year, I think I have a lot of positives to take away. Of course, the atmosphere in each tournament has been amazing, and it's been a different start this year than any other year I've ever had.
Ayala entered the tournament week ranked 31st in the world and has earned a first-round bye at the BNP Paribas. Since arriving this week, she has taken part in a few practice rounds and is scheduled to make her Indian Wells debut on Friday.
I don't think I've had a bye since I was probably 12 years old, so I don't know how it's been. It's really been long, and not a lot of tournaments give out byes, so this position is very scarce. And I'm really excited to be on court, and I think it's definitely a good push to already start in the second round.
Filipino fans made their way to catch the Pinay tennis phenom in action.
I've been coming to this tournament for 10 years. So I'm excited that we finally have a Filipino here again.
I got a selfie with her, and also this is my first ever tennis tournament ever. So I'm excited. This is special.
Of course, I'm very grateful for all the support that's been coming my way, and it's really heartwarming to see that they really they make the effort and they take the time to come out and to support, and it makes the experience for the player totally different.
The women's finals take place March 15. Ayala is also participating in the doubles with American partner Iva Jovic. After this tournament, Ayala will return to the Miami Open, where she has found recent success. As Alex Ayala continues to make deep tournament runs and climb up the rankings, Filipino tennis fans will continue to cheer her on, hoping to catch an up-close and personal look at the rising tennis phenom. Steve Angeles, Bilyonaryo News Channel, Indian Wells, California.
Viva Artists Agency has strongly denounced what it called repulsive comments made by Quezon City 4th District Representative Bong Suntay involving actress Ann Curtis. During a House hearing, Suntay said he once felt a strong desire for Curtis and got heated after seeing her at a mall, but later said it was merely part of an analogy and all in his imagination. The agency stressed that invoking Curtis's name in such remarks was inappropriate and warned that statements normalizing misogyny have no place in any forum. Viva also thanked fans and fellow artists for their support, urging public officials to be more respectful and responsible for their words and actions.
OPM band Cup of Joe is set to make history with Sandali, the Cup of Joe Fest on May 23. The 5-member group will headline the show at the Philippine Sports Stadium, becoming the first Filipino act to stage a solo concert at the massive venue. In a social media post, the band teased one unforgettable summer night of water splashes, lights, and thousands of voices under one sky, dedicated to fans who believed and stayed. While ticket details have yet to be announced, excited Joas are already gearing up for the big night. The milestone show comes fresh off the success of their hit Multo, recently named the most streamed OPM song on Spotify in February. Up next, it's truly Women's Month. We hear from Kat Ilacad and Rache of Leading Ladies as they talk about empowering women and building networks of successful female leaders. Don't go away, the Daily Dish will be right back. welcome back to the Daily Dish. And now I am truly feeling Women's Month. We are joined today by two inspiring women who founded Leading Ladies, a platform for female leaders, entrepreneurs, and creators to connect, learn, and inspire one another.
They've organized summits, talks, and events that showcase successful women and celebrate their achievements. Please welcome to the show. We are so honored to have them, Kat Ilacad and Rache Stern. Hello, ladies.
Welcome back to Kat and welcome to Rache, of course.
I just want to say our colors are so beautiful. We look like Easter.
We look like viewers' color.
Wow, yeah.
I just learned about JW.
JW Anderson, your new favorite.
Yes, just learning it. Okay, so a little bit of a disclaimer for everyone. I've had the privilege of actually witnessing your community and being part of some of the events that you guys have actually held. And you are doing one already this March, of course, Women's Month. Let's talk about the beginning. What made you... Yes, what made you choose to do this? It's not easy. You're getting all the women into one room, full of energy, full of dreams and all aspirations. What got you thinking to make Leading Ladies?
Okay, so this started during the pandemic, but backstory. So I have to tell you the story how I met Kat. No? So I met Kat 2013, and it was, we were in a visa appointment. So that's the very first time I met her through a friend. And then the next time I met her was during the trip. So imagine that's the first time I talked to her. And then the next time I saw her was during the trip. And during that trip, we would be talking about our businesses and we would be sharing ideas. And then at that trip, we were like, okay, let's do something. Let's collaborate or do something together. But, you know, for so long that I've known Kat, we couldn't find something that we could work on. So, because we were also busy doing our businesses. But then, fast forward, during that day, during that pandemic, so we were thinking, because everyone was really like thinking, okay, what's going to happen to us? Especially our businesses were really affected because we really are, it's direct to consumer, so you cannot really interact with, you know, your consumers, right? So we were like, what can we do now? So we started thinking of ideas, but you know, all the businesses that we were thinking of before, we cannot do that either. So because of that, it inspired us, you know, let's do something like parang we can help out people because we're also in the same, that same moment where we are also struggling. What are we gonna do while we're in this situation? So, you know, let's create this thing, a group where we can, you know, have women come together. And siguro that's the parang out of all the businesses that we've talked about, ito yung parang instant, okay, let's do it together. And then, so that's when we started, and then we started looking for what we're gonna call ourselves, what are we gonna do, what's gonna be our target market, what will make us different from all the others that, you know, that's already there. So, yeah.
Now, with Leading Ladies, what do you hope women get out of the event? What do you want them to glean afterwards?
Actually, from the community itself, we want them to find their big sister. Let's call it big sister. It's a family. So we want you to find that someone who will support you, someone who will inspire you, someone who will mentor you. Because it's not every day that we have the privilege of having a mentor or someone who will push us or cheer for us. But this community we started, Rache and I, we believe that this is something that women come out of it equipped with knowledge, with inspiration, and also with confidence that they can do it with a collaborator or just by being themselves and having their own ideas come to life.
So these women that join the summit, are they more business-minded, or any woman can join? Like, for example, they don't want to think about business, they just want to network and meet people. Anybody can join?
Yes, so I always say that it's for every ambitious woman. So anybody who has a dream, anybody who wants to be inspired, to be mentored, this is the community for you. This is the safe space where you can be yourself, where you can tell us your problems, your struggles with your business, or, you know, coming up with an idea or inspiration. This is your safe space.
I like that you use the word ambition because I always believe that, you know, people here, and especially in the Philippines, tend to say that ambisyosa is a dirty word. Well, in fact, it's not. It is not. Ambisyosa means you're just ambitious, but somehow it had a negative
didn't know that
connotation
was a-
through the
yeah.
years, like ambisyosa ka. But it's actually a good thing.
It is a good thing.
And in your space, you actually push people to dream, to do bigger
Yes.
and better. Okay, so here's the question. You guys, this is not the first time you're having She Shine Summit, of course. This is the pang-ilan na?
Second.
The second
Second time,
one.
yeah.
Okay, what makes this different? Who are we expecting to see here? Get us all tickled and excited.
I see. I'll begin with, so we maintain, we would have speakers again, but one thing that we are doing differently this time is we have what we call the moving pieces. So the moving pieces is really a portion where we have experts and then people can actually ask them questions on particular topics. So let's say you want to ask about branding, scaling the business. So you get the moment with that person. So we will have 5, I think, Kat, no? We'll have
Yes.
5 speakers, then experts, sorry. And then they will be, if you are interested to find out something about strategies, so you can talk to that person. So that's the very first thing that's different for this year. And
Of course, we have our speakers and our panelists, which is headed by Miss Catriona Gray, who will be talking about how to use your voice. So definitely,
I
it's
love
something that
this.
women
I love
can
Kat.
relate to. And then we also have Winnie Wong of Sorto.
yeah.
We have Angeline Tam of Angkas. And we have Jonah Season of Dear Face. So we have a lot of panelists also. Actually, we have 22 women on stage for that
What a
day.
great lineup.
Yes, and what Rach was talking about is really a sprint mentorship
Yeah.
that we haven't offered yet, but we want people talaga to feel na sobrang sulit. And such an experience to attend the Leading Ladies event. It's not just your usual conference, it's not just your convention, but what's also exciting is that we offer a lot of freebies. We have
Yes.
free hairstyling,
and
manicure, massage,
yeah.
all their
Love
fresh
it.
thank you.
It's really pampering also for
Yeah.
women.
Okay,
Yeah.
sign me up. But let's talk about it. It's a one-day thing or 2 days?
It's a one-day
So it's a
thing.
one-day thing. Now let's talk about what we can expect in that one day. So from the morning till when it ends, what's the format?
Okay, so for our programming for that day itself, so we start at 9:30. So you got your overflowing coffee and your
Much
pastries.
needed.
It's very much taken care of by Leading Ladies. So we start with the speaker and then the panelists as well. And I forgot to mention that we also have Spark Tank. So just to give you an idea of Spark Tank, it's where attendees pitch for 60 seconds to influencers or celebrities. And this is our dream for our attendees, that they get to be posted by these influencers, because not everybody can afford a shout out or a post. But this is free. They will pitch, and if the influencer likes it, they will guarantee a free post on IG story. And this is such a big thing for our attendees because it's the visibility that we don't have access to. But at Leading Ladies, we want to provide them with that.
It's really good. You could really tell, Mo, that this is by women for women. Okay, let's talk about the audience. For March, it's really the time that I personally also get busy with a lot of these women events. But you guys seem to do it differently. What is it? What's the secret sauce that you have that makes
What is
it
the
different from
secret
other
sauce?
platforms and
It's their
forums?
unlimited coffee and pastry.
and the massages and the nails. But of course, it's more than that. There seems to be a secret sauce somewhere that even other people are already copying. Of course, that's flattering and all, but we want to know what makes Leading Ladies truly different in terms of supporting other women.
Siguro, we're really happy that we're part of this larger ecosystem of women empowering women, right? But I think, it's also a really big surprise for us. It's like we don't really actually know what we did the first time, what made it really impactful. But I'm sure Chal was there during our first event. And the thing is, during that first event, that was really hey, this community is really different. So all of these women, they started sharing their stories. And, I think it's really the openness, and you feel it's the vibe of the community. It's not us who did it. I think it's really the community who brought this kind of vibe for Leading Ladies to maybe stand out or maybe have this special sauce that we are calling it na parang you feel safe, you feel like you don't get judged. Kasi on the very first day, I remember there was someone who even cried. Parang she was so open to talk about her struggles. And then everyone was just really supportive of her. And I think that person now is in collaboration with someone else at that. Yeah. So she was able to find a collab with someone eventually.
Yeah, it's really the community, the safe space, and the vulnerability of the women that join. But we'll take a quick break. We'll still have you guys for the next body.
We'll keep the safe space among us. We'll take a short break like what Mo said. Stay with us as we hear more from Kat and Rache of Leading Ladies when the Daily Dish returns.
Hello, hello, welcome back. You're still watching The Daily Dish and still with us, the Kat Ilacad and the Rache Stern of Leading Ladies. Thank you for being with us and for making this a safe space. Earlier, Chal and I were talking about what feedback that you've gotten.
Success stories. I'm sure there are for it to have a second one that's even bigger and better. So do share some.
Actually, with a lot of struggles come with She Shine Summit, and si Chal knows that. I always mention it to her. But, you know, when we hear these ladies tell us how much it means to them, how much it has helped them with their brand, so we just text each other and say, Rache, we're on for She Shines 2026. But really, like, the feedback that we get is that when, like, a participant was gonna close her company, but somebody heard her and then said, why don't we collaborate? So now they are launching their new line, their new brand. And I think one of the success stories also came from Spark Tank when the participant who won for Rian Ramos. She got a free shout out from Rian, and then they got a lot of orders. And you know, these simple things that we have provided for them, like access to celebrities also, means so much for us, for the founders of Leading Ladies, together with Rika.
Now, you mentioned challenges. When you guys did the first summit last year, what's the #1 most common challenge you've seen that women have to start their business or just in general?
I think common thing is, you know, a lot of mga dole or even taxation. All these things na parang you think na you already know, pero you're still learning also, like simple things even like...
It's the real stuff.
It's the real stuff,
That they didn't teach us in college. They were teaching us physics, but we didn't know about like taxes.
They were teaching us
Pythagorean theorem.
Which we didn't need yet until now.
Tsaka also like how to handle your people, how to scale the business, how am I gonna do my branding, who's my, you know, all these things that we also ask when we start our business. So it's also the same for the rest of them. Sometimes we just wanna also just rant and just, you know, share our common experiences and then learn from each other.
It's the stuff that you don't think about, right?
Yeah.
Actually, Mo, for a lot of women entrepreneurs there, people think that we want chismis. No, we actually want to be able to talk about our growth, our business, and to share ideas. But the real part there is to be able to just release it and rant
to have
so
that
that you know another person.
You're not alone.
You're also, you're not alone.
Do you guys actually have like a group chat, like a GC for afterwards that people can join, or you just get their numbers personally?
We do communicate via Instagram.
Okay.
And a lot of these members are very highly engaged members. So when we say we announce like an event, they're really very active and they quickly sign up for these events.
Awesome. Well, before we do rapid fire, if you guys could invite our audience for the She Shine Summit this coming March 28th, go ahead and then we'll do our fun bit. Camera's there.
Yes, so we're inviting every ambitious woman out there, everybody who has a dream, who wants to have that connection with other women to join us on March 28th, Saturday.
Yes, at the Galio Events Hall in Parañaque. And we have a lot of freebies, very exciting guests, and a lot of other surprises for you guys. So please join us.
Thanks for the invite. I'm sure a lot of women watching right now are like, that's the place to be. That's where I'm going. And you guys look at...
I'll be there.
Yes, Mo will be there. I'll be there in love and spirit. You guys will
I'll be there for Chal too.
So, quickly, before we do rapid fire, just so people know, we keep talking about women entrepreneurs. You guys are also successful entrepreneurs in your own right. Rach, what do you actually do as a businesswoman as well?
I have a company that does activations and events, but I have partners with that company.
As well.
Nice.
And of course, Kat, who really also mentors and is a big sister to other businesses and women entrepreneurs. We
have Posh Nails, which is a community also in itself with a lot of franchises.
Okay, the reason I put that there so that you know there's proof of concept.
Yes.
These are people talking about things that they also personally go through. All right, rapid fire, here it is. You guys know how this is. We ask a question, you just have to answer.
Super quick.
Okay?
Whatever first comes to mind. All right. We start? Okay. Kat, favorite event you've organized?
She Shine Summit.
Rach.
She Shine Summit.
Okay, most inspiring woman you've met through leading ladies, Rach.
Kat.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, should I say Rache and Rita, my partners.
Your most inspiring Chimo Chal. Okay, one word to describe leading ladies. Kat.
Empowering.
Rach.
Safe space.
Okay, a project you're most proud of, Rach.
Leading ladies.
Leading ladies.
A skill you guys wish to learn next.
Time management.
We wish we owned
Skill,
that.
really, maybe learn more about AI.
Oh, I thought you guys, you girls were gonna say, we know them all already. Okay.
Oh, there's a lot to learn.
Okay, one thing you want participants to remember about leading ladies, Kat.
That they are able to do things with the community.
I think it's really the connection that they build at that moment when they're there in our event.
Now, if you guys could bring She Shine Summit anywhere in the world, where would it be? What's your next destination?
New York.
Why
Of
not?
course,
Yes. You seem to have an eye
Manifest.
connection there. Was there plans already? We never
No,
know.
because we were talking about the guests that we wanted before, the international guests.
And we have increased also to bring it to Los Angeles. But of course, we want to make it stronger here first.
Yeah.
Ooh, the
Before anything
dreams.
else,
Love
it's
it.
gonna be here.
Have a strong foundation.
Yes,
in the
dream
first.
big.
Yeah.
All right. One lesson you've learned from building leading ladies, Rach.
Well, you really need to surround yourself with, like-minded women and who has the same vision as you have.
Always be open to connections and future collaborators.
Okay, what's your favorite quote on women empowerment off the top of your head? If you can't remember the quote, just like what's
Your quote.
Yeah.
My quote is that you can always do it with the right support system.
Okay, you are your best work. Yeah.
All right. I took a pause and started thinking, you see this? This is our best work, me and Mo.
100%.
Thank you so much for joining us, Kat. Thank you, Rach, everyone. Thank you for what you do for all the women out there. We truly need a community. So once again, that is, of course, Leading Ladies with She Shine Summit for this March. Thank you so much,
Thank
Kat and
you so
Rach.
much, Kat and Rach. Now we're taking a short break. Stay tuned. The Daily Dish will return.
Welcome back to the Daily Dish. Tomorrow, we will speak with Dr. Emeline Kua about the fight against breast cancer. As we all know, awareness starts the conversation, but action saves lives. We'll also explore Cebu's local art scene with Chris Bahade of Cube Gallery. That's tomorrow at noon, only here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. And that's it for us this Thursday, March 5. Join us again tomorrow for more Real Talk.
A lot of spilled tea.
With Zero Filter, I'm Monique Tuzon-Basi. Anytime is a good time because it's always more fun with us.
I'm Ferdi Salvador on top with the news and stories that matter most. And happy birthday to Anna Marie Quirino.
Happy birthday, Tita Anna Marie!
That's
All
you.
right.
And of course, I'm Chal Lontoc. Stay tuned. I wasn't on top of that one, but stay tuned to the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Thank you for making us your lunchtime companion. I'm Mai Rodriguez. See you tomorrow. That's the day today.